Welcome to my recorded version of Engaging Your Students Apps to Try in 2014. The first app I would like to talk to you about is TeluguMe. With TeluguMe, you create characters and you place them on a photo of your choice, which you can easily retrieve from your iPad's photos. You record a short message and then post it on your Edmodo or other class management site. You basically only get two characters, a boy or a girl. You can modify them a little bit by choosing the hair, the eyes, their emotion, their outfits, their shoes. And so basically you don't have a whole lot of options as you would in GoAnimate.com, but I love the simplicity of this one. You leave a short message for your students. You can do it in Spanish or English or any other language. And for that matter, you can have your students also create little short messages. So I actually love TeluguMe. That's my favorite. So we looked at a little sample video as I had the webinar. And feel free to click on this link and review it as well. The next app that I'm very excited about is Touchcast. It's a fabulous recording site. You can create professional videos very fast. This is even faster than my all-time favorite, Show Me. Okay, with Touchcast, you create your podcast and your video cast, that is, and you can add pictures, you can add polls, you can add live websites. It has fabulous options, or you just completely keep it simple, like my example that I showed the webinar attendees on how to create your own aura with the new Aurasma app, which I'm going to discuss in a few minutes. So we looked at this Touchcast about creating your own aura. If you're tired of doing simple PowerPoints and your students' PowerPoints are getting very boring for you to look at or the class, you can try to vary your presentations a little bit by using Adobe Voice. Adobe Voice is super fast for the students to create fun videos. You just add photos, it includes music, you add the narration, and you're ready to go. It is so easy. You get an internet link and voila, your students' presentations are ready to go. Or for that matter, you can explain concepts yourself on there. It can be from simple to complex. You can record up to 15 minutes. So I have an example actually that I made on my advice for you if you ever go to Machu Picchu. So you can look at that if you like. If you really love word clouds, okay, here is a supercharged word cloud. It's called CloudArt. Now, if you think I actually typed in all these words, no. They are automatically generated. All you do is you type in your website's URL and CloudArt will create a word cloud for you. And of course, you can change it to different colors and different shapes. It still lets you use your own words too, if you like. But the beauty of it is that you can do it for the entire website. You've probably heard of ThinkLink before. However, this is called ThingLink. Teachers and students can create interactive images with text and video overlays. So basically what you do is you bring up a picture from your photos and then you create overlays. The overlay can be in the form of a simple message that you type on there, Spanish or English or any other language. You can even add a YouTube video. When I went to Machu Picchu, on the way there we had to stop in Cusco, and it happened to be the celebration of the Señor de los Temblores. And I picked up an actual YouTube video from that very celebration on the internet, and I placed it on my picture. Very cool. Okay, the next one, it's an app, but it's also available on regular computer programs. So I would suggest you use Chrome to go on nearpod.com. And what you do is you upload your PDF files or your PowerPoints. And the beauty is that the students are given a code and they can follow along your presentation on their own device. Now, why would they want to do that? Because you can add polls, you can add quizzes, and open-ended questions right in the middle of your presentation. So it's absolutely awesome. If you do the paid version, which is about $12 a month, well worth the money, by the way, you can assign these for the students to do on their own, at home or in class. You don't even have to show it. They just do it from their own device. Pretty awesome. Okay, Google Hangout. Google Hangout is completely free, which is the major advantage of this program. It's a great place for students to get together and to review for tests. They can also meet with a teacher, and they can get together for tutoring sessions. So Google Hangout, go ahead and try it. It is completely free, and you can also just use it for video chatting. Sticky. Okay, Sticky is a little app that allows you to take notes of your bright idea. So you can see an example right here of one that I made. I'm working on a presentation for next year, which is called Teaching with Augmented Reality. It's here. So every time I get a bright idea of how I could use augmented reality in my teaching, I add it to my Sticky. Speaking of augmented reality, Aurasma is definitely the app for the teacher of the 21st century for 2014. It is the most spectacular, surprising app. It's an augmented reality tool. What that means is it allows your bulletin boards to come alive with clever overlays. What you do is, for example, you make out a sign with your words, for example, El Pavo Real, which means peacock. So I actually have an actual poster board, and it says El Pavo Real. So when students come over there with their iPads and their phones, that is, and they scan my words, the Pavo Real, an actual peacock will appear on their screen, and it will actually be walking around and flapping its feathers. It's just absolutely surprising. And I'm so looking forward to doing a project on that next school year. Slide idea. Okay, as I said, if you're sick and tired of the ordinary PowerPoint, why don't you try slide idea? This particular presentation that I'm doing right now was actually created with slide idea. It's so simple. There are different designs available, and this is the one I chose here, but there are all kinds of different ones available, like I said. So you make this straight out of your iPad, and you can record it, or you can record with a different method, such as explain everything for the iPad, or what I'm using right now is Keynote. Or if you don't even need a recorded version of it, you can just leave it as it is. Okay, Haiku Deck is a totally different presentation tool, which I also would recommend you to use with your students. You can create stunningly beautiful presentations with great web images. Just follow the simple steps that they give you. They walk you through every single step, and you come up with great results immediately. The way it works is you type in the title of your slide. For example, planning for a new school year, engaging the students. And then, as you do that, the app will provide you with a list of key words that are linked to images from the web. So they will give you suggestions for different images. As you can see on this slide, it's a computer screen. Okay, but if you look at mine, I did one on why study Spanish. So if you look at this little video, you can see how stunningly beautiful these web images are that they suggested for you to use. And they don't just give you one, you get several you can choose from. Okay, Google Tracks. Okay, if you go on googletracks.org, it's not .com, it's .org, you will get instructions on how to use this particular idea. Students and teachers can create imaginary trips on Google Maps where they enter information and upload photos for each destination. So here's an example of one that I made. I went to Panama City, Panama a couple weeks ago, and I presented at the AATSP conference. So for each stop that I made, I can enter a picture, I can enter a little description in Spanish or in English, and then build my trip from there, and it actually is shareable. So very awesome. Okay, WebEx. WebEx is a video conferencing tool that I highly recommend. It allows teachers and students to schedule collaborative meetings. It does have the video option. You can put yourself on there to be visible. You can screen share easily. This is absolutely easy to use. And you get a whiteboard to use. So you can use it for tutoring sessions. And I also recommend it for video conferencing. For example, if you have a guest speaker who would like to speak to your class, the teacher can call in with WebEx. Okay? So the only limitation is that you only get 3 people at any one time that can be on there. But if you have a guest speaker call in, you can just have a projection device and project your computer screen to your Promethean board or whatever board you use, and the class can follow along and hear the presentation. Okay, the last one that I'm going to talk to you about is the ZipGrade app. It allows the teacher to download multiple choice answer sheets that can be scanned from the teacher's phone. It should be an iPhone actually, or the iPad. There's a little link to a YouTube video that you may want to look at. It is silent. There's no instructions or anything, but it's kind of obvious. So what you do is you go on ZipGrade.com, you print off the answer sheets, and then on your iPad or iPhone, you make out a key, and then as the students turn in their papers to you, you actually scan them with your iPad or iPhone, and the grades get uploaded, and voila, you're done grading. Okay, this brings us to the end of the recorded version of my webinar. As you can see, this only took about 15 minutes, but the actual webinar was a little longer because, you know, people have questions, and we are very happy to serve you again in the future with any additional webinars that we're going to post on edproconsultants.weebly.com. So please stay in contact with us. Thank you for listening to the recorded version of our webinar.